Welcome to Beers with Rich. It's great to be back. I'm Rich, editor of Under the Radar Report, your favourite small caps publication, brought to you by Ballistic Beer Co. First class. Let's crack it. Crisp. Check this out. So this week I want to talk about lithium again, because let's face it, we wrote it in this week's report, so it's top of mind, and also it's one of the bright spots, undeniably one of the bright spots in the market these days. So this time we focused on 7 developers. That's right, the magnificent 7. Let's have a toast. Yul Brynner. Once again, I'm sure you're experiencing market jitters. I mean, I'm here with a beer though to tell you that value investing is the way to go. Look at our blue chip. We did our blue chip this week, our blue chip portfolio performance, 14.5% a year for the past 2 years. I mean, get that into you. Value investing is the way to go, and stock picking. Why is that? Because it doesn't rely on momentum. I mean, in a nutshell, as the stock price climbs, you're accepting basically a lower return for the same risk. So that does not, that's not conducive forever, is it? So when there's big corrections, stock value stocks that you've paid for at lower prices are going to deliver value. And that's what's happening. That's what the market's looking for. Basically, the stocks I talked about last week, let's face it, Pilbara Minerals and Allkem, they're going up. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Those two lithium producers. But as I mentioned last week, their fundamentals are improving even faster. I mean, these companies have bulletproof balance sheets, heavy cash producing. They are machines. So it's like stock market nirvana. Slightly kept in check by a nervous market. But arguably, the real value in the lithium sector is in the developers, albeit with, more uncertainty. But with that uncertainty, you're paying a lot lower price. Like Pilbara Minerals is now valued at, over 14 billion in its market cap. That's not even including the debt. Oh, well, it's net cash, actually. So anyway, 14 billion in market capitalization. I think Allkem is closing in on 10 billion. So these are developers. Obviously, life's a lot more difficult when you're not producing cash with interest rates going up. We've seen that in valuations coming down. But that development risk is priced in to varying degrees. And also you have to bear in mind that the lithium market is here to stay. Remember what I said last week. We're going from a situation where 10% of cars are electric vehicles, EVs, forecast over the next 5 to 7 years to go to 40%. That's 30 million more cars, and there's only lithium for 10 million. So basically what we're looking at is a situation where the threat to the EV market is lithium. So lithium is really in the center of this, of this revolution. Basically, when a developer becomes cash flow positive, you get an immediate cash flow positive effect. You get an uplift in your DCF valuation because cash is coming in. That's one factor that's going to boost your returns. Another is the corporate element. I mean, we're already seeing the giants like SQM from Chile, Rio Tinto farming into projects. Doesn't take a leap of faith to know that they're going to start buying companies sooner rather than later. Anyway, which brings me back to the Magnificent 7. As you know, I'm not the mining analyst. That's Peter Chilton. But I'm going to quickly run through a few of the Magnificent 7. Peter Chilton is going to cover one of his favourites next week in a lot of depth. So that's something to look forward to, and we're looking to put in our small cap portfolio. So let's go through a few of them. Lake Resources. I mean, this stock has returned over 200% for us since we tipped it, 224%. That's a star in our view. So they're working on a 50-ton a year lithium brine project in Argentina. The production's targeted for 2024. So that's not far away. So, we've surfed the stock for a long time, but despite this, it's still going through due diligence and financing milestones. So compared to the other developers I'm going to mention, it's earlier stage. But the thing is, it's got cash of 173 million. So obviously it's been taking advantage of the rising share price to raise money. One that's actually, similar in its time frame is Liontown, LTR. That's been positive on our, of our lithium developers. That's 18 months from production. So that's gaining fast acceptance as like the next Pilbara Minerals. It's different in that, like, it's basically, building, it's developing into being a large-scale spodumene producer in Western Australia. Not, I might hasten to add, the Pilbara, but, it's probably the closest thing to being the next Pilbara Minerals. I mean, produces the same product, albeit smaller scale, but slightly higher grade, according to Peter. So that's one stock that he might choose. Argosy Minerals, that's another positive one on our radar. So, and we're going back, to the Pampas. We're going back to Argentina with this one. This one has a small scale brine project. So it's a smaller scale of the ones we look at. But they're starting off pretty soon with a 2,000-ton project, and they're putting a premium on quality. So they've got to, get the metallurgy right. They've got to make sure that they produce a higher grade product for battery production. So one thing, long-term watchers of the sector will know, it's clearly technically difficult to produce lithium from brine at scale. So anyway, they've got 36 million cash in the kitty, Argosy, so that means they'll be able to get to the next stage. The problem is they'll need more cash for expansion. So obviously a work in progress. What's coming up? So we've got gold stocks coming up. We're going to be looking at them, what's happening with gold. We've got our favourite lithium developer. We've also got a new technology stock coming your way. It's all happening. The beer. First class, people. First class. First class Czech Pilsner. So it's actually got an English, Czech, Brisbane feel to it. I mean, I know that even like probably Adelaide, I think, as well. It's got everything. It's global. So it's produced in Salisbury, west of Brisbane, by these Ballistic beer company brewers. But they've obviously been bought by Mighty Craft, which is a listed beer company, code MCL. So looking at the share price, you might get a better return from the beer, but who knows? I haven't looked at it. So I got this one because one of our subscribers asked for a Czech beer. Well, this technically is a Czech beer. Check it out. Cheers.